name is Vincent Terbeek. I'm here at the DuPont Pioneer Innovation Center, and next to me is Dr. Marcus E. Kehrli, Director of the National Animal Disease Center, the USDA ARS. We're going to have a couple of questions with regard to the presentation that you've just given. Could you briefly summarize your presentation?
Well, thank you, Vincent, for this opportunity. The focus of our talk is on the microbial community of the intestinal tract, today primarily of the pig, and its importance in the overall health and performance of pigs. We know that all mammals, and the pig certainly is one of those, have many organisms that are very beneficial to the health of the intestinal tract and the overall health of the animal. They perform many important functions. They have digestive roles where they help break down complex carbohydrates, particularly in the colon. They have production of certain metabolites that are extremely important in the health of the cells of the intestinal tract, and one example being butyrate, which can be used as an energy source for the epithelial cells of the intestinal tract. They also produce many other essential nutrients like some of the vitamins, vitamin K, B12 for example, that the animal cannot derive directly from its diet. So there's a lot of very important factors that they produce. Importantly, one of the things that they do is that they help compete against pathogenic organisms. And we know that the organisms that are in the intestinal tract differ from the mouth to the rear end, and that the communities along the way do change. So much of what we talked about today was how that is beginning to be understood through some of our new tools. With DNA sequencing becoming so cheap, we can really get in to investigate a lot of these organisms, because the intestinal microbes, very few of them are actually able to be cultivated in a laboratory. And so our genomic tools give us the opportunity to actually get a much higher level view of what populations of organisms are present.
What role do the microbial populations of the gastrointestinal tract play in the overall health and performance of pigs?
Well, it's a very challenging question, but there's a wide range of contributions that bacteria play. They help break down many of the nutrients that pigs eat that they themselves have no capacity to digest, such as complex carbohydrates. They also help produce a lot of vitamins like vitamin K and vitamin B12. So there's nutrient contribution, but then they also can compete with pathogens and directly pressure pathogens out of the gastrointestinal tract.
And are there promising technologies that will help producers maintain pig health and performance if antibiotic use is reduced?
Well, there's a great deal of hope in this area. Today we've just been through the experience of seeing a virus introduced into our country where we had a naive national herd with porcine epidemic diarrhea virus. The experience of that tells us that the most important thing that we could possibly do is biosecurity. And that is easier said than done. It is a very difficult task. In a research environment where you're working in the ivory tower, there's a lot of things that we can do. But the practicality of what we do to keep pathogens out of a room filled with animals under study it's very different than what you can do on a farm. So setting aside biosecurity, avoiding stress. We know that stress has an impact on the microbiota or the normal flora of the intestinal tract. If we can avoid stress in animals and minimize its effect through things that we can give to animals, probiotics, prebiotics, and a wide array of other things that are still under a lot of research and development, may provide considerable benefit to the pig. But we're a long ways yet from having those products being brought into the marketplace. Some of them still are being used, but we're hoping that we can make substantial improvements over what's currently available. If you can reduce the effects of stress, you can still see some disease. There is a lot of approaches that people are taking to try to combat antimicrobial resistance, which of course there's a lot of pressure on reducing the use of antibiotics, which are primarily actually used to control and prevent infectious disease in pigs. The outcome of that is that they grow better. They're more efficient because they aren't battling disease. But that battle has kind of been lost in the politics of the world. So we're trying to find ways to achieve a similar outcome as to what the antibiotics do. So, the best thing that we could possibly do is have really efficacious vaccines against pathogens. And we still have a lot of research to do in that regard. So they're going to be the gold standard. But there's other approaches that people are looking at to enhance the innate immune system, targeting genes in the bacteria that contribute to antimicrobial resistance. There's a lot of new things that we can try. Basic research is always exciting and fun. It just takes time to deliver something into practical use.